So we're beginning to see a pattern here in terms of how you promote. Sorry. And most people who are any kind of user of Twitter will always have their handle. In fact, I would tell you that a handle is probably the most important thing you have in social media. It has so much traction, you can put it anywhere, you can slip it on almost anything. And if you're looking to build your own credibility for you, I would highly, highly recommend Twitter and then using your handle wherever you can comfortably slip it in. And that goes from anything on social media to very standard, very traditional kinds of things. I put your handle on your business card. I put it anywhere your name comes up, on the signature page of your email. Well, you need to put the primary, whether you want to use your business name or whether you want to use yourself. I tend to tell people, yeah, you know, if you're Ogilvy Digital, you're going to have Ogilvy Digital. But if you're an individual, or let's say you're tweeting and you work at a company or an organization, you're going to want it to be in your own name unless, no, I take that back. If you're doing it for the organization, you're going to want it to be that way. But if you're doing it for yourself, you want it for yourself.
One of the things that I think is important to caution is being sure that when you're tweeting either under your personal name or under your corporation's name.
Yeah.
Because there have been some pretty serious mishaps if you think that you're on your handle and you're in fact on your company's.
Yeah, I think you have to be really careful, and I think you have to be careful about what you put, you know, on your Facebook page and all the rest. So that's a little overview. Twitter is incredibly powerful. It really is, and for business in particular, it is also more complicated. But at least you can start off slowly. And you know, listen a little bit, learn a little bit, put, you know, and then just take your time with it if you're not familiar and not using it today. So we're going to be switching dramatically to video. And for those of you that saw the film that I recommended for the first night, video is probably the single most explosive thing outside of mobile. And mobile is even bigger. And the reason is it has such a dramatic effect on people. It's able to convey so much more than most modalities, right? So it's really a steep ramp, and that ramp is going up. And the last time this was done, which was a year ago, video was 51% of the traffic on the internet. That's phenomenal. So these are fairly standard kinds of videos, all right? But they don't have to be treated in a standard way. Remember I said I search engine optimize my releases? Well, you can treat some of these very standard things, thought leadership, industry news, you can treat them in a way where people will be interested in them, and they will have a life beyond the 5 minutes you put it up. We're going to take a look at some really good videos in a minute. But if you're getting real industry and thought leadership, people will come to you. If you're getting an ad or just a pitch for your product, they probably won't. Okay, so I want to give you different kinds of examples of things that are good. I don't know if you remember, but last week, Gabrielle, I think she mentioned 2 books. One of them was The Thank You Society. It's by this guy. And he made his name in selling wines. Now, this is not, you're going to see, he's not a real sophisticated guy, right? But he made an amazing name for himself in the market. And I want you to see one of his wine videos. Totally self-made.
So hello everybody again, this is Gary Vaynerchuk from Wine Library TV. And you know what's very funny? The most obvious and always asked question that I get is when you walk into a wine shop, it's my little ghetto setup for wine shop. When you walk into a wine shop, how can I tell if the wine is good? Can the label help me? And I'm gonna answer the question for you very simply and obviously, no. And I know that's not the answer you want to hear. And people are devastated when I give them that answer. Like, well, how do you do it? Well, I study and read about wine every single day of my life. It's 24/7, 365, just like you know something about you that you do all the time. But there is something you can learn, and I'm gonna give you the biggest trick I can possibly give you about shopping for wine. And I know what you guys are all doing. I've been around this my whole life. You're either walking into the shop and picking the one with the nice label or the one that appeals to you, whether it's crazy or a little bit more classic. Or you're looking at the ratings. on the shelves, right? It says 90 points, oh, it must be good. Half the time, those things aren't even really true. You know, they're not even the right ratings. You gotta watch those wine shops.
Okay, so this is a guy, he lives in Northern California somewhere, is not out of Hollywood, he is not particularly sophisticated. A pal is probably filming this, and he just went off the charts with it. I mean, and then he is now making a career out of the use of social media. It'll be in your reading for next week, what he has to say about the book he's just come out with. But I wanted to give you a sense that you don't have to have big bucks in order to do this. So this is another one. It's one of my favorites, and it came out a couple of years ago. It is a bank, the third largest bank at the time in Turkey.
Binlerce Akbanklının kalbi Türkiye ile birlikte atıyor. Bu güç daha iyisini, daha yenisini arıyor. Büyümek, büyütmek için. Akbank.
So this went out in 2007. And there were some ads. This was as a precursor to the big soccer games that were occurring. And this was the third largest bank in Turkey. And with due respect to anybody from Turkey in the class, it isn't what you think of when you're thinking of high finance, right? And this bank wanted to change that. And whoever they went to took what they wanted. They went to South Africa. These are South African dancers. And they put this together. And I'm sure it was very expensive. It was probably $100,000 or $200,000. So that's what you can do when you have money. They were the third largest bank in Turkey within 6 months of that, and I'm sure they were doing many other things. They were bought out by Citibank, right, which is also what they wanted. So you can be, you don't have to be in some special part of the world. What you have to be is very creative and very good.